In a historic moment for cricket enthusiasts and fans, women's cricket has made its long-awaited return to the Asian Games after a 9-year hiatus. Making a significant milestone for the sport, the Indian women's team are playing the first match in the highly anticipated event against Malaysia. Of course, it's a rain-delayed stop-start. Again, the Sri Lankan weather has followed us at China. But Indian women's cricket team has already secured at least a medal. This event signifies a cricket's triumphant comeback to the Asian Games, and it is a great moment for Indian women's cricket team, also the overall generation around it. Well, of course, we have two of the very important guests joining us. One of them who's actually has worked and played for India in the 70s and 80s, Nilima Joglekar. And then again, we'll talk to Yash Lahoti, the editor, the founder of Women's Cricket Zone. But first, Nilima Joglekar, I'll come to you. When you were playing against your other big compatriots in early 1970s and mid 70s, early 80s, did you ever think that we'll come so far? You have the Commonwealth Games, you have the Asian Games, you have the IPL and whatnot. Your first views. Nilima Joglekar, if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, Nilima ma'am, what we are trying to understand, your first views. You've got the IPL, you've got the Commonwealth Game, you've got the Asian Games. What else is left? Now actually the Asian Games first match is happening, and now we are looking at perhaps the Olympics. Did you think that we could make that journey thus far in the last 5 years that we've made? You're happy with the progress?
Yes. Last 5 years has been really great for women's cricket all over the world, we can say. Even the associate teams are coming up in a big way. Women's cricket has made an inroad throughout the world. Even USA now is coming up in a big way. So I'm really delighted, and day is not far when women's cricket or cricket will be a part of Olympics as well, along with Commonwealth and Asia Cup now.
Ma'am, we are celebrating, while we celebrate the move of everything around that, there are good days, there are, we are going to the Olympics. As a historian, one has seen the days where you did not have reserved compartments, you traveled overnight, there were no outfits for the ladies, including so much so that there was not even a changing room meant for them, and they had to play in the school or colleges. But yet you managed to get some of the international matches, you had a sold out stadium capacity. You want to take us through those good days of the 80s?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of talk about the old times as well, because now we are seeing the rosy picture, but people do want to know about how it all started, and
Yes.
that is where we come in. Yes, there were difficulties, but we enjoyed those difficulties, and we are enjoying what's happening today with cricket because of those days that we spent out in the rough, you can say.
Yes.
It's been a long journey for women's cricket, and it's really exciting to see now what's happening with women's cricket. So let's not, because everyone wants to look forward and not look back now. They're fed up of us talking about old times, and I'm sure the viewers would want to know more about today's game than the past. Of course, we went through all the difficulties, but it was not so much a difficulty because we enjoyed playing cricket.
Absolutely.
And we enjoyed representing India, and that was a big plus. And in that also, the organizers then managed to have the test matches, which are not happening now. I'm most worried, and really, we at least got a chance to play test matches, whereas I feel terribly sorry for Mitali and Jullans of the world, because they in their prime could play only a couple of test matches. So they are the ones who lost out on not playing test matches cricket
Absolutely.
as well.
Well, you win some, you lose some. That's the nature of the sport. But before we get Yash Lahoti, who's created a fantastic ecosystem of capitalizing on the readership and the know-how for the women's cricket game, I'd like to go on to live in London, where our friend David Brooks, who's joined in, and he's got an input on the county scene. And suddenly, again, cricket is a game of uncertainty. And what do we have? We have Cheteshwar Pujara actually serving a ban for dissent. David, you want to take us through that comical situation, how he got a ban? The most decent guy in cricket in the last 50 years gets to get a red card almost. David, you've got to unmute and then start on the answer. David.
Yeah. As you said there, Sunil, the glorious uncertainty of the sport is what makes it so appealing. Who would have thought Cheteshwar Pujara, the mild-mannered man, he keeps himself to himself, he's quietly spoken. Well, he's not in action for Sussex today or yesterday. He's been banned for one match for dissent. Sussex have accumulated 12 demerit points, and Pujara, as captain, is automatically banned for a match. Two of the players on the Sussex team have also been banned. This is for very poor on-field behaviour, pushing and jostling, and even one of the players, Jack Carson, a promising spin bowler for England, alleged to have tripped one of the players from Leicestershire, held out his foot to make the guy fall over.
Isn't that a schoolboy cricket? Isn't that what you used to do in school?
Well, you might have done that at school, Sunil. I would have played more gentlemanly, by the rules, because it's not cricket, is it? And I think what my conclusion from watching part of this match against Leicestershire, where it all kicked off, is that Pujara is so much Mr. Nice Guy that he cannot clamp down on ill-disciplined behaviour from the rest of his own side. And as a result of it, as captain of Sussex, he's had to carry the can. His batting has been phenomenal for Sussex. Let's not take that away. He's been scoring centuries for fun. But when it comes to on-field discipline as captain, as you know, Sunil, with your experience of running big teams, you have to clamp down on poor behaviour and poor standards.
Well,
and unfortunately, your man Pujara failed to do that. So Sussex have been docked 12 penalty points from County Championship Division 2, which really does affect their ability to get promoted to Division 1. However, Indian viewers will be interested to know that Sussex have signed for the last 3 matches of the season the Indian left-arm pacer Unadkat.
Yes.
And he has been an absolute revelation. I know he had to wait 20 years for his second test match, but he only had to wait 5 minutes to get on the field for Sussex, and he immediately struck with a 6-wicket spell, giving Sussex victory over Leicestershire in that game that all kicked off with the ill discipline. He lines up again in the current county championship fixture away to Derbyshire. But alas, Sunil, when you left the UK, the weather followed you, and we've got some inclement weather now with clouds building. I'm on my way to Lords for Middlesex versus Warwickshire. Middlesex fielding an Indian spinner, Yadav. It's interesting. Pakistan have a lot of players playing county championship cricket still. And mainly young players looking to make their name in the game. With India, the players who play in the English County Championship are those slightly more senior players looking to get their test match place back. They're here for a reason.
Well, David, we won't hold you on because it's 3:30 or 4 a.m. in London. We'll let you go catch some sleep and let you give us the update from Lords.
I say the same philosophy as you, Sunil. We never close. Always open for business.
Absolutely. Thank you. That was David Brooks. Now we go on to Yash Lahoti. Yash, you've seen the good days and it's getting better. What made you take that leap of faith and start something as revolutionary as this project that you do? Can you take us through your project?
So Women's Cricket Zone was started in 2017, and it all started because I thought women's cricket I didn't get the information that I wanted for women's cricket, and I thought maybe I could put that up and it will just grow. Unfortunately, the last 5 years, the last 6 years that I've been doing Women's Cricket Zone, it has only been growing. And yeah, we started with a website, then moved on. We have a magazine, we have an award show. Right now we are doing all of women's sports on Women's Sports Zone. So yeah, basically the women's sports ecosystem is growing at a very rapid pace. And that is what I thought would happen in 2017. I didn't think about all sports, I thought about cricket. And that was the reason to basically start the entire thing.
Well, absolutely. It's surprising you say that in 2017. How the growth has been in terms of your viewership, readership, and the kind of hits that you get from all across the world. Because I remember when we were doing our history book on women's cricket, there was nothing available. We had to rely on secondary and the third data, but it was a labor of love. But coming back to 2017, isn't it surprising that in the social media revolution, you were still lacking information and news? Yash? And then I'll go back to Nilima Joglekar. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. So if you go to 2017, there was the World Cup going on. It was on Hotstar and Star Sports. But you want to find information about one particular player or something, a player profile as basic as it could be, players who are playing the World Cup, you wouldn't find that. So that was 2017. Today, you basically get everything. You have companies fighting over a particular interview or a particular thing to be done. You have the Women's Premier League being sold to 5 franchisees, broadcasted. You have the equal pay parity by BCCI, New Zealand Cricket Board, now England Cricket Board. So yeah, a lot of things are now coming up. I'm sure the next decade is going to be really great for women's cricket. And that's what it looks like. Well,
next decade belongs to women's cricket. Nilima Joglekar, again, will that bring smile on your face? And what are the 3 things that the global body that runs the international, the national and the state body, what are the 3 things that they need to do to get it right? Nilima ji, your views.
Actually, the social media and people like Yash and you have been instrumental in getting women's cricket known to people, and absolutely thankful for the media which is supporting women's cricket like anything. And Yash has a big role to play, and he has already played a big role. So basically 3 things: more matches, and I wish and I am sure the sentiments are understood by everyone and liked by everyone, that we would want to play Test cricket as well. And I'm sure wherever you give a chance to women's cricket, they are going to flourish, and they are on the up. There is no plateau for them, and it's only upward journey, which is what is a very good thing to have happened to women's cricket, and it's on the up, definitely. And 3 things, that is, one is Test cricket.
Yes.
Then there is nothing much we are asking for, because really BCCI, ICC, they have opened up avenues for women in every which way they deserve. You know? So there's nothing which is not there now, because we can't even talk about women getting paid. They are equally getting paid. So it's about now how the women take it and they improve every day, which is what we want to see. We want the crowds equally excited about women's cricket, watching them everywhere they could. Go to the stadiums, full stadiums is what we are expecting. So
we have an interesting news coming in from Malaysia against the Malaysia match. The quarter-final game between India and Malaysian women has been called off, and India makes it to the semi-final. It was only the first over that was happening, and the rains followed from Sri Lanka, as we call it. Yash, semi-final, And again, we are eyeing the finals in few days. Then again, the men's take it. Do you think it brings euphoria to women's cricket, the medals and the team in the contingent? Yash, your views.
So I have always said that end of the day, World Cups and Asian Games or Commonwealth Games or Olympics matter a lot because you basically fight for a medal or a trophy. Bilaterals hardly do because end of the day, it's only two teams. You're not judged by a lot. Here you are fighting against multiple teams. Your strategies change every match. Yes, India, of course, Malaysia is not in the top 10. So they are not really a great side. Of course, they are really coming up right now. They did well recently in the Asia qualifiers, but it was always going to be very easy for India. Here, they couldn't finish the match, of course, because they are a higher ranked side. They're finished. They are going to play the semi-finals most likely against Bangladesh.
Yes.
The winner of the Sri Lanka-Pakistan semi-final, which is hopeful again. If Thailand beats Sri Lanka, that's another thing. But that's going to play India. So most likely we would want to see an India-Pakistan final here as well. But end of the day, the color of the medal will matter a lot. I'm sure India is going to win a medal, but the color of the medal is going to matter a lot. India didn't play the last two Asian Games. This is the first time cricket is being represented at the Asian Games. So yeah, that go for gold is going to be something which doesn't really happen in cricket, but most likely will happen in cricket this time.
Well, go for gold is an important factor. One last thing, ma'am, the final match, what is your lookout for? Which team would India want to play for the growth of the game? I mean, if you were given a hypothetical wish, let's go and ask for your opponent.
Yeah, of course, the India-Pakistan always excites everyone.
Yes.
No matter men's cricket or women's cricket, we are gunning for it. But mind you, Sri Lanka team is doing really well. So they are also a formidable team. And they just beat T20 England in T20 games
Yes.
2-1. So, you should not take the credit away from them, but a lot of main players of England team were not included. But even nevertheless, Attapattu is doing marvelous job for women's cricket. She's been a great ambassador for hitters. Definitely India-Pakistan, but you cannot take Sri Lanka out of the game.
Well, India-Pakistan is what the fans look for, and Nilimaji says you can't take away Sri Lanka. However, Yash Lahoti has only positives to look at it and says that it will only grow.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.